Yes.
Cowabunga, baby.
Fuck! So, I was told the other day that I can only show up to the office with a tie on. Dan, is that right?
Yep, that's right.
That's right. Well, where's your tie? Well, we're already dialing. That's awesome. The pause is in the house, and Mr. James McAllister is here. Do we already have a call? I'm just a little bit confused because only Jake and I listened to Dan's request. James, how does it feel not having a tie? A little bit awkward, or?
Yeah, I actually feel like I'm not wearing a noose or anything, so it's good. I feel like a free man.
That's good. That's good. 1, 4. So anytime I hear automated directory or potentially an operator when Dan's on the line, I get a little bit nervous. A little bit nervous.
Why is that?
Oh. I think he might be having an internet connection issue again. So
no. What's happening on your end?
He might be froze. Dan, are you there?
Dan,
is it just Dan? Or are we frozen, Ryan?
He's frozen. No, it's just Dan. So Jake, do you
Dude.
have your seat set up?
You're up, Jake.
I sure do. Of course I do. I've always got it.
Let's get you going. And it's gonna be pretty amazing because I'm pretty sure if we get a connect right now, we might have we might have this moment.
That was a no answer. Let's try another call.
Dan, you're frozen. But are we gonna have a Dan Baggin moment?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but your internet is terrible, dude. It's like pixelated. No, it's not so good. If anyone provides quality high-speed internet access in the Utah area, you might want to reach out to Dan Bigelow. Let me put this in the chat. Let me put his number in the chat. Free lead. Dan Bigelow, Sandler Sales Training, needs some internet in his office. Because right now, Jake, where are you calling in from? You look sharp, like super sharp. Like your image is sharper than sharp.
Hey, is this TJ?
Yes.
TJ, this is Jake Alba with Sandler Training.
Uh-huh.
Not sure if that name sounds familiar.
Maybe. I may have heard it before.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would or not. I guess, is it okay if I briefly explain why on earth I'm reaching out, and then you can decide whether or not it makes sense for us to continue this conversation?
Sure.
Okay. So, TJ, we actually work with a lot of different business owners in the construction industry. And, when we reach out to them, we're hearing a few, I guess, frustrations that we're having. When they connect with me, one of the big ones that we hear is we're frustrated that maybe we're not getting in front of enough of the right people in terms of like growing the business, adding more revenue. Another thing that we hear quite often, and it's kind of a weird one for Utah specifically, is, business is booming. We're doing better than we ever have. But we're concerned, that that might change. And then the last thing that we're hearing is in terms of just recruiting A players, getting people to show up and want to work in this industry. It's been a little bit tricky and difficult, I guess, hiring those A players. I guess let me pause there, TJ. Are any of those relevant to your world?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, I can see some of it.
Okay, tell me a little bit about which one, I guess, resonates the most with you.
Probably just finding employees that actually want to work.
Sure. Yeah, that's a big deal. Now, would you say it's just finding just anybody to work right now, or just finding a specific A player for a specific role?
No, it's mostly just like labor type people. People that will come in and do what they're told. And
Yeah, general laborers in essence.
be willing to learn and kind of listen and be willing to be trained type of people.
Okay, now that makes sense. Well, I guess, would it be okay if I made a suggestion, TJ?
Sure.
Okay. I think that, I guess maybe if you're open to it, you and I could schedule 10, 15 minutes next week sometime to kind of discuss how we've helped other, construction businesses to find A players and how we've helped them in terms of hiring the right candidates. Not sure if you'd have some time next week to have a conversation about that, would you?
I don't think so. I don't think I'd be interested in it.
Okay, so I guess tell me a little bit more about that. Is it just not that big of an issue for you guys, or just not something that you would handle for the business, or? And if you're just trying to be nice, that's okay too. And you're just not wanting to have a further conversation. I guess is that what's happening here? You're just trying to be nice, not hurt my feelings. TJ, did I lose you?
Yes.
Cowabunga, baby.
Dude,
What happened?
Whoa. He hung up. He totally hung up, dude.
So,
I failed.
oh, I think Dan's still out. So what I loved about that conversation is a couple things that we had changed in today's approach, which is you guys went out and you kind of found companies that you think were a good fit. And the difference between that conversation and every other conversation is when you said, do any of those hit? Well, yeah, something hit.
Yeah.
Right? Because why? Target message, right? So your message and your approach has always been sound, except that a lot of the connects were not the right target. So like when you say what you're going to say and then it doesn't hit, right? Which is the point of it. And today it hit because, yeah, they actually had that problem. You had a conversation, it was really good. Now, I don't know why you lost him. He was pretty engaged and he fell off that call. But based on previous conversations, to me, that was like, it was like exactly how you would want a conversation to go. You got what you needed. There was a back and forth. But from your perspective, especially James, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that call.
Yeah.
Where do you think it went south?
So I think it went south is, maybe Jake went for the appointment a little prematurely, right? And I think there was more to be discussed, and because it kind of hit the point where he felt maybe the prospect, and again, I'm coming to a conclusion on what I saw. The prospect is like, oh, shoot, we're jumping to the appointment already. You don't know me. You don't know my world. Still kind of maybe just a little bit too soon. We could have gone a level or two deeper, and then he would have stayed engaged, and then, Jake would have, I think been able to hook it, but still unknown. I mean, we're all hindsight's 2020.
I love the fact that you brought that up, because I give Dan and Jake shit all the time about like keeping people that are not engaged for too long. And I actually kind of felt that. I almost felt this energy, like Jake was like, once he said yes, I think he even shifted. I think we even saw a shift in his body language. We're like, okay, I got one. And he went a little bit faster than usual. When normally you're a little bit slower and you're asking questions and you're trying to discover, it almost felt like you could have done, just like you said, like once you have them, the purpose of the call, right? We're trying to have a conversation. So Jake, can you explain why you might have felt like you wanted to go for the meeting there right then and there versus what you might usually go a little bit deeper? Because you're usually pretty good at like probing on some of that stuff. Just curious to hear. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, and we're the bull in the arena. You throw me on that call, I probably would have asked for the appointment even before I even said hello. Like, that's what I do, so don't worry about that. But what was your thought process in that? Because I'm just curious
Do you
to
want
hear
the honest answer or the lie?
I always want the honest. Like, I want the 360 analyst here. Like, where were you at? Where were you at?
The honest answer is I don't know why I opted to push for the appointment when I did, but I had an intuition that I should probably just pounce as opposed to draw it out.
So
And
any
maybe I made the
opposition
wrong
trying to
call.
call him back for the hang up right now? See if we can get him back online.
Right now, I don't think he'd be receptive, but I could totally give him another call tomorrow. I think I shot my shot and I blew it. And to call him now, it might be more of a negative than a positive.
You got it. Next, we go on to the next one. Dan, the Warrior Bigelow, is out for today because apparently his internet sucks. And again, if you sell internet in the greater Utah area, you should reach out to Dan Bigelow because he's still.
This is what's funny. Dan and Jake are in the same office space, just different rooms. So.
Okay, so Dan, why don't you bring your computer over to Jake because he's HD.
I think it's his computer, not the internet.
Oh, Dan, why don't you actually upgrade your device, because you're probably still in the Stone Age, which doesn't surprise me knowing Dan, to not upgrade his device. So Dan, why don't you do that, and we'll move on to the next call. James, are you calling today, or let's go back to the pause? Because
the pause has got this. He's going.
Dialing away. It's all on me. I'm going to carry you guys to victory. Jump on my back.
Alex speaking. Can we help you?
Yeah, I was trying to see if Jimmy Platt's still floating around the office.
He's actually not in the office right now. Like to leave a message?
Yeah, I guess could I get transferred to his voicemail, or should I leave you a message to have him call me?
Yeah, I can take a message.
Okay, yeah, just let him know that Jake Alba, ALBA, called, and I'm going to give you my direct cell phone. It's going to be 801-694-7632.
Can I ask what this is in regards to?
Yeah, tell him it's in regards to Sandler Training.
Sandler, Sandler?
Yep, just like Adam Sandler. You nailed it.
Gotcha. Sandler Training. Okay, I'll go ahead and let him know and have him give you a call back.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
All right, bye. All right.
So again, one more best practice on phone rate leads: just ask for the transfer if you can. When we go through our process, our agents ask for the transfer, and like 40-50% of the time, people still pick up on those, like the picker-uppers. So gatekeepers, that's their job, is to gatekeep, and they're going to say everything they want. But if you can ask for a transfer, a lot of times that will happen, and you'll catch people. They're driving and things like that. But yeah, they're not available. That's not a problem. Can you transfer me? Can you transfer me? That's the ask.
I'm gonna yes and you right here. Oh, wait a second. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna there. When you get the option to ask for the transfer, you can use one of the Sandler techniques right here and do it as a negative reverse. and you can ask, say, oh, shoot, I guess I missed him. I don't suppose they have a voicemail, do they? I mean, you couldn't transfer me over, could you?
That's actually that's a really good for phraseology, James. And that right there is the ideal use case for what we have. Because remember, and we talked about this in a previous episode around like the transfer and stuff like that, like building rapport. When you the leads that you guys are calling for our show are people that we know have already gone through this process, and we know that someone will transfer. If there was a transfer, they will pick up the phone. We know that because we did that before. So some of the tactics that you might do without that knowledge, they should go away. But what you just explained is appropriate because that's exactly how I might phrase it. It's like, oh shoot, huh? That transfer language is what we're looking for. So what can we do to maximize the chance that that person again will push it through? Because we had someone, by the way, who's not a native English speaker, get through someone like them and get to the person. We know that for a fact. Yeah. That's why it's a PRL. So if we spend too much time doing all the other ninja work, we're kind of wasting time. So, but that's only in the lens of the fact that we're calling people that we know that are already likely to pick up. To your point, if we didn't know that ahead of time, there's other best practices, which is, I think, some of the things that we go through sometimes in the show where I'm like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? We don't need to do that. Good, fair point there. And I think there's some other, if you didn't know that, there's lots of other ways that you would work through, build rapport, gather information on the individual. Because maybe if I'm calling Sally, Sally's the person every time, and why wouldn't we get to know Sally, right? Because at some point, maybe Sally gets nice and transfers us over. The things about hiking and things like that we've had in previous episodes, right? So, but I love that negative, that negativity, the negative request, and you guys do that really well in Sandler. Just like when you lay out that.
Well, the great thing about that technique is we actually use it.
The turkey dialer.
Not just making calls, not making phone calls, but we actually use that when we get to the sales engagement side of it. After we've set appointments. This is a technique when, you could be talking about all kinds of different areas. Let's say someone's pushing back and, we're talking about an appointment area. We're trying to set appointments here. So in that framework, you get to the point where it's time to set the appointment. You could say, well, I don't suppose it'd be worth your time to spend, 30 minutes, an hour, discussing these details a little bit deeper about what you're going through, would it?
Exactly. And you're doing that all the way through. You're probably doing that, hey, look, based on everything we shared today, like, especially if they had the upfront contract on, like, hey, we're going to talk about these things, and if we have these problems, then you'd be like, hey, like, based on everything we covered today, like, I don't suppose it would be worth, I don't know, another conversation if we could do these things, would it?
Yeah. That's the idea, is using those techniques, and then they can come to their own conclusion, right? You're just presenting the information, but in an
Hey, Marcy, I was trying to see if Lorna is floating around the office.
Kind of a non-forceful way.
100%.
Perfect. Thank you. Sounds good.
Jake's show.
It should be shared. I'll do it again.
I don't need to hear about it. I need you to share it.
Hey, Dan, why don't you fix your computer?
After 30 minutes.
Yes.
All right, do me a favor. Just hold.
I got you good.
Dude, did Jake just cast Fireball or what? Whew,
Level
that was
20
a
Fireball.
Scorcher.
Dan is so upset right now.
Dan, I'm sorry. Your computer's just fine. It's okay. It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And even though Jake said it should
Dave,
be
this
sharing,
is the one.
still check this.
Are you dialing, Jake?
I'm dialing,
can't
baby. I've
We
been
don't
dialing
hear
the whole time.
Hey, you're not sharing your audio as Dan said, which is not a problem for me because actually it's more compliant. I'm really worried you guys are gonna get me sued at some point, but that's okay. I know Dan loves. I know Dan loves to share the other side of the live, which is what makes our show so compelling to so many individuals. So speaking of those who are tuning in, please broadcast your questions, QAs, rants, comments.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're in. Are you dialing?
Let me dial again, see what happens. Can you hear the dialing?
No dialing. And
Yeah, I was trying to connect with Sam.
this is great. I love it.
This is Jake Alba with Sandler Training. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's just. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, great. I will give him a buzz. If he doesn't answer, I'll leave him a message. Thank you. Bye. So, did you guys hear any of that?
No. So you're the way that you have to share the audio through the stream. This is the same problem I have when I'm doing it on my side. Jake,
Yeah.
I don't know what Dan is usually sharing his audio because he's doing it through his computer, so it's the same thing.
Right.
It's like if I did it through my speaker. But you have
Yeah.
two separate audio. You have the audio that you're sharing through the dialer, and you have the audio that you're sharing through Restream. You have to make them both the same. You have to make them both the same.
Okay, let me see if I can make the dialer the same.
Yeah. If you want to share the other side.
Yeah.
Yep. That's gonna have to happen.
Okay.
In the meantime, with our audience today, all 5 of you, where are we at in terms of your life in dialing? And remember that all you have to do is heckle, comment, share, give some feedback, and you get on the list for the Headset Advisor Boomstick giveaway. So all you have to do is comment, like, heckle, especially this week with Dan and his inability to show more than a pixelated face. You can earn your chance at a headset direct from our buddies, Headset Advisor. So go ahead and heckle, comment, share, do your thing in the chat. We have nothing so far this week. And you get yourself on a spinner. So if you're the first one to comment, you get 100% chance. There we are. Yes, you can. James, you are there. There you are. Here we are. Oh, here we go. There we are. Look at that. Bam. It's helped me go faster and stronger.
Shout out to that.
And longer. And here we go. James trying to win his own. Here we go. Hey, we got to get you your own, right?
Yeah.
You got to get your own. Yeah. Get your headset boomstick giveaway. Dan's gone again.
Hey, Ryan, from the phone burner, how do I change the audio settings?
So you have to go to your computer settings and make sure that your computer settings are equivalent to your like your default settings.
Okay.
and then when you stream here, obviously on Restream, you can actually choose your audio settings. So you choose the same one. So you match
Yeah,
those.
I have that synced, which is bizarre that it's not.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with you just talking because people can still
Okay.
learn. So just dial. I wouldn't worry about it. Just
Okay.
dial. Like, people just love to hear your side anyway.
Cool. All right, I'll just keep dialing away.
Honestly, if I can hear your pause,
The
the
It's a
pause
real
is
beaut.
pause heard around the world.
Okay.
A lot of learnings from that thing. So just
Here we
keep it
go.
up. We don't have to worry about the audio difficulties.
You got it.
Jake, he's our man.
You know,
If he can't do it, we'll pause.
and if Dan was here, he can. Did you see how we almost reamed that? Do I need to pick up the phone and start dialing? Is that what you want me to do? Oh no.
Jake
Maybe.
is actually calling right now.
Jake
It's not ringing.
Alba.
Here he is. Here he is.
One of those voice screeners, robo protectors.
Yeah. Google Voice or Robo Spam. Robo Killer. Robo Killer is the one. Robo Killer.
That's what it is? All right.
Yeah. If you made dials in 2020 and beyond, Robo Killer is the thing. If you're an old schooler, you wouldn't even know what we're talking about. You'll go, yeah, back in my day, I used to make calls both hills up both ways with no shoes on in the snow. Up hills,
Yeah.
both ways.
Pick up the phone.
Reminder.
That's right.
You'd say something like this.
Good, pick up the phone and start dialing.
Oh, no one better than Leo. Love it.
And or hello in the house. Hey, would you be opposed to anyone who fills internet services reaching out to you?
Yeah, is this Rob? Rob, this is Jake Alba with Sandler Training. I'm not sure if that name sounds familiar or not to you. Okay. I wasn't sure if it would or not. I guess, is it okay if I let you know why on earth I'm calling you, and then you can let me know if it makes sense to continue this conversation? Okay. So I know I'm catching up blue, so I just wanted to make sure I'm not catching at a bad time. But we work with quite a few business owners or businesses, you know, in the construction type industry, and came across your website, and it looks like you guys focus primarily on like steel work. Is that correct? Okay. Cool. So when businesses that reach out to me that are in this type of, I guess, vertical, you know, what I'm hearing are a few headaches that they're kind of experiencing across the board. I'll share a few of those with you. Let me know if any of those resonate or are worth, I guess, talking about. So when these companies reach out to me, I'm generally hearing things like, you know, we're frustrated that maybe we're not getting in front of enough of the right business. Another thing that I hear is, you know, maybe we are getting in front of the right business, but for whatever reason, we're getting a lot of, you know, I'll think it overs, or let me get back to you, and then maybe no response. And then the last thing that we hear quite often is, you know, we're frustrated that, you know, we're trying to grow, and it's been a little bit tricky with hiring, finding A players, and getting the right people, I guess, in to help support the growth of the business. Rob, I guess I'll pause there. I don't suppose any of that's relevant to you or your world, is it? Okay. I guess what are you in charge of, like the business development or the new growth for the company, or will that be somebody else? Oh, okay. So you probably are wearing a lot of hats then as the president and the owner. I guess in terms of like new growth and outreach, I guess how are you guys like procuring new business right now? Oh, wow. That's like a huge percentage. So a lot of word of mouth, organic growth. And so I guess you'll do like a job for, I guess, a company, and then they'll just call back for additional work, or what does that look like? Okay. And then, so in terms of like, I guess, like cold outreach, or do you even have a team that like tries to pursue new business, or is it all just reoccurring business you guys focus on? Sure. Okay. And do you find yourselves kind of like turning away business right now because you guys are in a position where you can be a little bit more selective on which jobs you take on? Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Sure. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. No, that sounds like a unique type of business structure. I guess in terms of like, I guess just organization and like processes, and just kind of like refining and streamlining, I guess, kind of how everything works. Have you, I guess, experienced any headaches with any of that? Man, you guys have like a great business. Sounds like everything's kind of going perfect over there for you guys. Yeah. No, that's cool. That's we like to hear that. Well, I don't know if this is something that may be a fit for you, but what I can do is send over a little basic survey that may help to like identify or highlight a few areas that we've helped other construction type businesses. If you're open to taking a peek at that, I'd love to send that over. You can take a look. If it looks like there's maybe some relevance, we could then schedule like a little follow up to talk about some things. If there's nothing there, then we can just pretend like this call never happened. So I guess, would you be open for me to send that over? Or should we just maybe pretend like this call never happened? Okay. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for your time, and I hope that your business continues to run smoothly, and you keep having success for years to come. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Yeah, take care. All right, bye.
Cowbung the baby.
Fuck! That gets me laughing. Good work, Jake. Hey, I don't know that you did anything wrong. I think you're inquisitive. You're trying to understand, and like they're running a really good business apparently. I mean, we didn't hear the other side of the conversation. We just heard you. So I don't know, Jake. I think the only thing we could have maybe done was kind of that last ditch effort, the Hail Mary of the things are going well talk track. You say, oh man, I'm getting the sense you guys are just crushing it, and you started to get there. You say, okay, yeah, great. How many sales reps do you have then? Oh, you've got 10 sales reps. Okay. Now, of all of your 10 sales reps, I guess, I don't know, how many of them are exceeding their goals? I don't suppose it's all of them, is it? No, actually, James or Jake, right? I've got 7 that really exceed their goals, and then I've got 3 other that are just kind of, making it along. Oh, okay. So, we have a bit more to that talk track, but I don't know, Jake, what are your thoughts here on this specific one? Maybe there's something we missed because we weren't there listening to what he had to say.
Can I provide a little
Yeah.
bit before you answer this as well? Because I like
Absolutely.
I like that. It was clear that you were probing. You kept that conversation alive, which was very different than the last one where you jumped on it. Like, oh, which is very different, right? You actually got to what we would consider a completion here, which was awesome. Like already taking feedback from the last one. Same exact persona, construction, etc. You didn't jump on it. You really probed, which I thought was great because you just kept going. And maybe that was the difference between someone who said maybe I have a fit versus maybe not. So you decided to go down. But in any case, I just love the fact that you stayed in the cockpit and just kept probing. The one thing that I think you did well, which James just asked the question around, which you could maybe go a little bit further around, was like, man, it sounds like you're crushing it. Maybe just dive a little bit deeper into that, and you kind of asked it, but you didn't go enough into it, like, which maybe would have been like the way to explore that a little bit further, because you did mention it. You're like, wow, it sounds like you're doing it, but you didn't probe it. Like Marge, like Dan Bigelow probe it, like probe without buying efficient internet in your office, like Dan probe it. But that was my only feedback. I thought that was like again 2 for 2 today with like really high engaged conversations. But what was your thoughts on like where that went? I don't think you might. I mean, if you're crushing it, like maybe they don't know that. But like to James' point. Like maybe there's like this blend of people. Is Dan dialing in the back end? That's what he's doing.
I think he's trying. Dude, no, I think key lessons on that one is even if you don't set an appointment, as long as you have a clear outcome or understanding of why maybe they're not interested or why it's not going anywhere, then you're still winning on your dials, right? A lot of people get discouraged or beat up or they get sad when they don't set an appointment, but as long as you have the understanding of why they're not qualified, I almost prefer that as a secondary thing to like closing the deal, right?
That was the meeting. The meeting.
Chris Jensen's not floating around the office, is he?
Dan's making
Chris Jensen is not floating around the office today, is he?
Here comes Dan.
Oh, yeah. Would you like to transfer you then?
Yeah, that would be great.
Hello? Okay.
Innovative thinking.
Hello, is this Chris?
Yes.
Chris Dan Sandler Training.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if the name Dan Bigelow sounds familiar.
Say that again. I'm sorry, you broke up.
Must be my headset today. I don't know if the name Dan Bigelow sounds familiar.
No, it doesn't.
I wasn't sure it would. Well, Chris, can I briefly explain why I called, and then you let me know whether or not it makes sense to talk?
Okay.
So I'm a consultant. We do a lot of training in the areas of business development and scaling companies, and we do a lot of work in your industry. And we've had a few architects reach out to us, and so I just looked up a couple others in the area here in Salt Lake. And I was curious, do you do most of the business development yourself, or do you have a team that does it for you?
No, we have a group of people that do it.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, and that's partly why I reached out. And typically when executives like yourself or the VP of sales reach out to us, we hear some common themes, things like, hey, business is going well. It's just these sales cycles are taking a little bit longer than we'd like. Others are saying things like, we're not out there prospecting enough for new business. And then lastly, I kind of hear people share that it's not really business development. It's finding the right talent, the A players. And so let me stop there, Chris. You probably don't have any of those challenges.
Well, I think everybody has those challenges in business, but I'll stop here and say, you know, I think we have a group that already works with us. Be happy with. I think that you know, changes. You're more than welcome to send me an email with your contacts so I can keep it on file. But you know, we're probably not in order with anything else right now.
Perfect. Well, Chris, yeah, I'll send you a simple email and my contact info, maybe a.
Yeah, that'd be
Perfect.
all right. So
It's gonna run the call when there's a lag. I just want to apologize about that. Guys here
Calvin, the
on your side.
Fuck!
Woo. Yeah, Dan, your internet was like good for a little bit, and then it was not good, and then it was good again, and then it got really bad again. So
again, out there in the universe, if there's a internet provider in what part of Utah are you? Like the specific area of Utah. Where's the office? No?
It's going to be called Fort Union.
Midvale, Utah area. Dan Bigelow, the sales gigolo, is your prospect. And if you hit me up, I'll give you his number directly. You can call him to fix all of these issues. I don't know if anyone's going to take advantage of that.
We've already deducted that it's not the internet.
No.
yeah.
Yeah, it's his device. So
He left. We offended
I
him.
really like.
I don't know who's going to convince him to buy a better device, but
to buy another computer, I don't know.
We've
that
tried.
that.
No, he won't.
Like literally, there's never been a sharper picture of Jake Alba on this show than there is today. Like it's super sharp. It's super sharp. We have 10 minutes left, guys. I feel like we learned a lot today, and I want to open it up to the thread and then have a conversation. James, you always bring lots of Sandler thought leadership here. I know you always want to stick to the. You really challenge the, this is Sandler, which I love. That's why we're here. Alba, thank you so much for bringing on some calls today. What did we learn today? What did we learn? And as a group, remember, we have a headset giveaway. Chat it in. Get on the spinner. But what did we learn? What did we learn as a group today? I feel like for me, I'm going to start this one. I think construction might be a good vertical for you guys. I think because it came through. I don't know if it's true or not, but it came through in your conviction, Jake. Like both conversations today were stronger than what I've seen in most. Like, and maybe that's just the faction of that. Like now the data shows that you're there and like you're able to reference that. I don't know, but it felt like the better list resulted in two better conversations. Now, in both cases, they led to whatever they were. But is Dan trying to dial again? We're not dialing. We're rapping, brother. This guy comes in. He's trying to come in. He's, Dan, I gave you a shout out today. I said, what do you call? I always want to be better because you're very good at what you do. I'm just gonna say that live. I just want to admit that you're very good at what you do. Stop trying to prove yourself. We're gonna wrap up today because your internet sucks. But what I learned today was like if you. I love you. Just die. Let's go. Let's have conversations. That's what this is all about. What I learned is that there was a lot more conviction with that standardization around like, hey, these are potentially good fit. Did you feel that way?
You're currently unavailable right now. You leave a message. You'll call back.
I think that conviction can trump a lot of other behaviors and or shortcomings or weaknesses. So I think that's the one cheat code in sales is if you have really strong conviction, it doesn't matter necessarily what you say or what happens, and you can tend to break rules, and the conviction will kind of trump all things. So yeah, I think in building a list and having something that you're a little bit more comfortable with, like, so imagine if we had like different, I guess, lists built out or buckets, and one was like tech, one was construction, one was whatever. And most SDRs and or AEs will have specific verticals that they work. I think that if we just focused on one thing, like it would be a lot more impactful and stronger, like you're saying, Ryan. But I also think it's fun to just call anybody and everyone because it kind of makes you a better, well-rounded caller slash seller. But yeah, I think there is some truth in the list building and targeting people you feel more comfortable with because your conviction and just your tonality, script, everything comes through. And I think it's just a more comfortable conversation once you kind of nail it. But yeah, those are my thoughts for today.
James.
Yeah, today I actually really liked the last point that you and Jake had on, honestly, what you accomplish isn't so much measured in the outcome of setting an appointment. It's about the behavior of, okay, are you making the dials? B, are you, using your talk track effectively? And C, are you getting to a point where you can actually engage with them and have a conversation, And I think having that conversation is probably like the highlight of why we do this. That's been kind of something that you've been saying a lot. And, that comes back to focusing on a behavior. So I really love that.
And Dan, I know you were like
can I
little lamb with no internet today, but what do you have to say?
I'm glad to be here.
That's it?
Right? And it doesn't matter how hard you get it.
Oh no.
And you can make excuse. And even after restarting your computer
Maybe
twice,
Dan, go ahead and just type your response into the chat, Dan.
sometimes ways and sometimes
Dan, you
need
you need some more technology in your world. Please please listen to your team and buy a new device. And we're gonna end there. So we've got you have a really high chance of winning today, James, by the way. James and Andy. Andy has won before. So the beautiful part about this is apparently Drew does not care. We will distribute more headsets all day long. So here we go. Here we go. Share. I have to do this. We have 2 participants. Share. Wheel. Spin. 50-50. Who's on the coin flip? We got a winner, chicken dinner. Oh no. Hey, maybe, James, you can convince Andy to send you his, because he can gift it all he wants. Okay.
The spinner never lies.
So
Dude,
Andy, if you're
Andy
nice guy,
already has a spinner.
No, he has
Andy
a headset.
already has a headset.
And he loves it. And Andy, you can gift it to James. All you have to do is hit us up again. The same link. You're a winner. You do what you want with the headset. That's how Drew feels about it. Thank you all for participating. We're going to see you all next week. I think next week we're going to have there was something happening. I don't remember. Oh, Alba, Jake and Jack. Are we going to do this?
I'll do
Can we-
anything.
Can we bring it up by next week?
I
U.S.
will do
versus
anything.
UK. Pause versus pace.
USA.
Do we have
USA.
a one-to-one next week? I don't know, but maybe next week we're going to have a head-to-head competition with one of the most interesting individuals on LinkedIn. Let's just put it there. Versus one of the most interesting individuals on LinkedIn. Who's who? We don't know. But thank you all for tuning in. And Dan, please, for Heavenly Father's sake, fix your internet. Fix your internet. And we'll see you all next time. Peace.